Britain entered the American Revolution with the world's largest navy, one of the finest professional armies on earth, and the resources of a global empire. On paper, defeating the American colonies should have been only a matter of time. Yet throughout the war, George Washington repeatedly seemed to know what the British were planning before they acted. Why? Because Britain relied largely on traditional military intelligence, the Americans built something far more powerful. They transformed ordinary people into one of history's most effective intelligence networks. The British military entered the Revolution with tremendous advantages: professional soldiers, experienced officers, a navy capable of projecting power anywhere along the American coastline. Yet intelligence gathering proved far more difficult. Messages crossing the Atlantic required weeks. Information gathered in New York often arrived too late to influence events elsewhere. British commanders depended heavily upon loyalists, deserters, and military scouts, but they struggled to understand both the geography and the growing revolutionary spirit spreading throughout the colonies. George Washington recognized an opportunity. If he couldn't outfight Britain, perhaps he could outthink them. Rather than relying solely upon soldiers, Washington encouraged intelligence gathering wherever it could be found. The famous Culper spy ring operating around British-occupied New York became only one part of a much larger network. Messages were hidden using invisible ink. Dead drops allowed information to pass unnoticed. Ordinary conversations inside taverns and marketplaces suddenly became valuable sources of military intelligence. Washington personally reviewed many of these reports, understanding that accurate information often determined victory long before armies met on the battlefield. Perhaps America's greatest advantage was not technology, it was people. Women such as Patience Lovell Wright secretly gathered information while living in London. James Armistead Lafayette, an enslaved man serving near British headquarters, provided intelligence that proved invaluable during the Yorktown campaign. Merchants, farmers, tailors, tavern owners, ordinary citizens all became part of an intelligence network stretching across the colonies. Britain possessed greater military power. America possessed greater participation. That difference proved decisive. History often remembers the generals who commanded armies and the battles that decided wars. But revolutions are rarely won by famous leaders alone. The American Revolution succeeded because thousands of ordinary people quietly accepted extraordinary risks. Some carried muskets, others carried information. Together, they built an intelligence network that helped defeat the greatest empire of the 18th century. Sometimes history's greatest victories begin not with superior weapons, but with superior information. History matters because people matter. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today's story, I'd really appreciate if you would like and subscribe to HMS History with Michael Stroud. This really helps the channel grow and share these little forgotten or little unknown stories with others who are passionate about history. If you'd like even more, please be sure and visit michaelgstroud.com. Here you can subscribe to the HMS Monthly Dispatch, my free monthly newsletter where I offer historical insights, behind-the-scenes research, and upcoming projects. Until next time, history matters because people matter.